Hi Kinders, it's Christy again. Well, this week, if you don't know, it's Wurundjeri week. And Wurundjeri people were the first people that lived on our land, especially around Maruka. And we need to thank them for looking after our land because they were the first owners of our land. Well, I've dressed up today in my Aboriginal dress, and this symbol actually means whale. I wanted to show you some other pictures that are Aboriginal pictures. This painting is the symbol of bush potatoes. So it isn't a picture of bush potatoes. What it is it's a symbol. It tells other Koori people that there was bush potatoes around in the area. This one's another one. And this picture is of bush bananas. So again, it represents bush bananas. It's not really bush bananas. What it is it's a representation of bush bananas. So it symbolizes them. So when other Koori people were around, they went, oh, okay, there's bush bananas around. There's symbols around. And they used that to tell other people that there was bananas around, or potatoes, or snakes, or whales. So there's lots of different symbols that they use for different meanings. Now, I wanted to show you this because you can make your own pictures that represent whatever you want to tell people about, your own stories, what you see. And you can use shapes and different patterns to do that. All right. So today, I'm going to read you a story. I've got two stories for you today, but I'm going to read one at a time. So this one's called Tom Tom. Tom Tom lives at Lemonade Springs. Sometimes his mother calls him Tom, and sometimes she calls him Tom Tom. But his two sisters and three brothers call him Tom Tom. His four brother cousins and six sister cousins, both his grandmothers and grandfathers, his other two mothers and four fathers, his three aunts and five uncles, his 22 cousins, and all his other relatives call him Tom Tom too. See, that's where they are. They're all up the top there, and they're going down to the Lemonade Springs. Every day, Tom Tom, his brothers and sisters, his brother cousins and sister cousins, and his other cousins swim in the Lemonade Springs. The water in the Lemonade Springs tastes just like water. And there they are, swimming in the cold waters. So it doesn't really taste like lemonade, it tastes like water. The children love to swing on an old rope tied to the branch of a paperbark tree. They swing way, way out and fall splash into the cool, clear water of the spring. And see, there's Tom Tom. He's swinging from a big rope into the water. When he is tired from swimming, Tom Tom walks back to his Granny Annie's house at the bottom of the camp. Granny Annie's house is made of tin. She cooks him crumb steak and eggs for lunch. At night time, he gets a lift from Uncle Harry up to Granny May's house at the top camp. Granny May's house is made of brick. She cooks him fried damper and makes him a pannikin of tea for his supper. See, so he's driving down here with his uncle all the way down to the bottom camp. Tom Tom sleeps at Granny May's house. He snuggles up with Granny May and Grandfather Joe. They shut the windows to keep the dibble-dibbles out. The dibble-dibbles are like bugs. When he wakes up, Tom Tom gets ready for preschool. He washes in the big laundry tub and runs to get some clean clothes hanging on the fence. His teacher, Miss Jess, drives around in a little white bus. She picks him up at the top camp and drives down to the bottom. And there's the bus coming here to come and get him, to take him to school. At preschool, Tom Tom likes to paint. He paints a picture of the red-tailed black cockatoo, Keatek. The black cockatoos watch him from high up in the stringy bark tree. He plays with dough and makes it into damper, just like Granny May, and pretends to cook it on the frying pan. See, he's at childcare just like you guys. He's painting a picture with his dingo pet. Tom Tom always plays in the Aboriginal cubby house, made out of sticks and paper bark. He makes a pretend fire from wood and orange paper and imagines he is living in the olden days. And there's his dingo. When preschool is finished, Tom Tom asks Miss Jess to drop him at his Granny Annie's camp. See, they're going back on the bus again because it's the end of the day. Tom Tom loves to visit Granny Annie. He pats her best goanna dog, Vegemite, and feeds him an old piece of damper. After a while, Tom Tom and all the kids head for the Lemonade Springs. They walk along the wallaby track that lead down to the riverbank. See, there's a big lizard coming up the tree. And they're all going back down the hill to the Lemonade Springs at the bottom. Through the long grass, over the big rocks, across the gully, down the sandbank and into the water. The day is hot, but the water is cool. Tom Tom dives down deep past the stripies, swimming among the pandanus roots, reaching out to where the water bubbles out of the earth. One day, when he's bigger, he will touch the bottom. It's a pretty fair way down, isn't it? But now he swims back to the top and splashes in the sunlight with the other kids.